Extreme heat is really going to be this weekend.
Right.
Today and tomorrow are okay.
Yeah,
It's
we're kind
really
of
Saturday, Sunday.
building tomorrow, and then it peaks
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. It's just a 2-day peak for the Bay Area. Other parts of the country, even other parts of the state, are facing more than a week of excessively hot temperatures. So we're going to get some relief courtesy of that onshore breeze kicking back in. Let's take a look at what you need to know as we get closer to this heat wave beginning. Areas of dense fog are still going to be out there tonight, spreading across the Bay. Temperatures are going to be warmer pretty much across the board tomorrow. The heat peaks Saturday and Sunday. And then we're right back to those normal temperatures by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. You can see the roller coaster ride as we bring in the temperature bars for Livermore over the next 10 days. And you can see the peak of the heat wave Saturday and Sunday with those temperatures inland of the East Bay peaking over 100 degrees, but then a rapid drop even down to the 80s by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then back up the roller coaster again by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we are going to get at least some break for a little while from the extreme heat before the potential of another heat wave does head our way. So the natural question to ask is, why are temperatures going back and forth so much? It's because we're in the middle of a tug of war in the atmosphere overhead. We have these areas of high pressure and low pressure in the atmosphere, and we're going to kind of make the globe a little bit bigger here and zoom in on the relevant features for us. The big H on the map is the heat dome that's going to be in place over basically the entire western half of the country as we head into the weekend. Now, that's going to certainly boost our temperatures to 10 to 15 degrees above average. We're not likely to set any records in spite of that heat dome being present, but there's also an area of low pressure, less atmosphere overhead that's just off to our northwest. And we're going to be in the middle of that tug of war in between these two features. By the middle of next week, when those inland temperatures back down to the 80s, it's because the heat dome retreats a little farther to the east. That trough, we call it, of low pressure, just less atmosphere overhead, allows the atmosphere at ground level to expand, the temperatures to cool off, builds a little bit closer. But then by the end of next week, the heat dome starts to take over. Things are just going to wobble back and forth like this, likely for the next few weeks, according to the long-range forecast models, which means we're going to continue to see that up and down temperature pattern. Now, while it does mean we have to deal with that excessive heat for inland parts of the Bay Area, at least from time to time, there's good news. We don't have to deal with the heat that they're going to be seeing around Phoenix over the next several days. Our temperature bars are supposed to come in here. Let's see if they actually do that. Well, got past them a little quickly there, but 110 degrees plus. In fact, they're likely to set some record high temperatures. Phoenix has only been over 120 degrees a couple of times on record, and they're going to threaten that level on Saturday. Let's take a look at the climate shift index. That tells us how much more likely this type of excessive heat becomes due to the influence of climate change. And we're seeing a lot of maroon areas on the map, not just in the U.S., but also down into Mexico, indicating that this type of extreme heat in these darker shaded areas is 4 to 5 times more likely because of the influence of climate change. Again, there's some good news that we're not going to have to deal with the extreme heat for all that long, but there are other parts of the country, especially in the desert Southwest and our neighbors to the south of Mexico, that are not going to get a break really anytime soon. It's hot inland right now, but it's not that hot. Low 90s right now in Livermore and in Concord. Temperatures around the Bay still in the 60s. I'll enjoy that. 81 degrees right now in San Jose, 85 degrees in Santa Rosa. Most of those numbers very close to what's normal for this time of year. The fog along the coast is going to try to push inland. It's a shallow layer of fog, which means inland, it does not last very long. It'll take a little longer for it to clear out around the Bay and it back up to the coast as we head towards midday. A little more sunshine peeking through along the coast already tomorrow afternoon. More sunshine than that as we head into Saturday and Sunday. You don't have to worry about the heat, though, along the coast. Temperatures tonight dropping down to the mid to upper 50s. Highs tomorrow, a little warmer, still low 60s along the coast, upper 60s in San Francisco with mid 70s for Oakland. Mostly 80s down the peninsula with mid 80s in the Santa Clara Valley. Near 90-degree highs for most of the North Bay. But temperatures inland of the East Bay, those hot spots reaching up well into the 90s in some of the hottest locations, already over 100 degrees for highs tomorrow. The hottest day will be Saturday, but even on the hottest day in the hottest locations, we're unlikely to set any records. The forecast high for Livermore on Saturday is 104. The record is 107, so we should fall at least a little bit short of that. But as the heat continues to build, air quality is going to deteriorate. Spare the air alert in effect for the entire Bay Area tomorrow, but the trouble spots are primarily going to be inland of the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley, unhealthy for sensitive groups. So anyone who is more sensitive to the heat or perhaps has some breathing difficulties needs to be aware that that's going to be an issue as we head through the duration of this little heat wave this weekend. It's more of a warm spell around the bay, though. Low 70s in San Francisco this weekend, near 80 degrees for Oakland, which is close to 10 degrees above normal. Well into the 90s inland in the North Bay. Temperatures in the Santa Clara Valley into the low to even mid-90s Saturday and Sunday, but then backing right down by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. After the 7-day forecast, the roller coaster ride is likely to continue. You saw that in the 10-day outlook, with temperatures inland likely increasing by the end of next week, but at least the really hot weather only lasts a couple of days.
All right. Thank you, Paul.